Hello everyone, I'm Andy,
I'm Mark.
and this is
What?
Strange
What?
Stuff Podcast.
I'm almost speechless.
Why, what?
You've gone all Rolf Harris.
Oh yeah, I thought I'd go all nonce.
My God.
Hello, my boy.
Have you actually, sorry, is that the extent of your beard when you try and grow one, or have you actually done a goatee?
No, it's a goatee. What do you mean?
God,
Good God, what do you think? I just can't get anything around these.
Exactly.
Honestly.
What on earth gave you the idea that that would look good on you?
It does. Absolutely fabulous.
Reviews from your gaming buddies.
From my radio listeners.
Oh my God. Oh dear. Right. Yeah, sorry. I thought 7 o'clock start would have been a bit early even for you.
Well, no, it's the finish at 8:30 was the problem.
Why?
Because you never know. It could have gone over.
Oh, I see. Not if we'd started at 7.
Well, I don't know. We got a couple of really nice stories today, which could well go on for a little bit.
We're not. You're threatening a two-parter, are you?
No, probably not a two-parter. What do you want, mate? What are you doing?
He wants to switch off the computer. That's what he wants to do.
He's going to knock my mic over.
Yeah.
Little bastard.
Who is that, Ronnie or Reggie?
That's Ronnie.
How do you know the difference?
Well, Ronnie is black with white bits and Reggie is white with black bits.
Ah, that's okay. Yep, even I could cope with that.
But they're both very, very lovely, aren't you? Hey?
Do they like the new place?
I think he's going a bit stir crazy, this one, because he likes to be out a bit. But Reggie doesn't really care. He never really went out. He used to go out and sit outside the door and then come back in. He wasn't really up for walking around.
I can't remember. Do you have a balcony?
Yes.
And are the cats allowed on the balcony?
No.
You know, I told you before, you can just get cat netting for them.
I've got cat netting, but I need help. The cat netting is 8 meters long by 3 meters high.
Yeah.
I can't even think about trying to place it myself. I can't even. How would I find one corner? I need to stretch the whole thing out and then carry it inside again by a corner. I need someone to help me. I can't do it. It's not something you can do alone.
I have a feeling that the corners are marked with little red ties.
It doesn't matter. It's just too big to be fucking around with on my own.
Yeah.
Anyway, it will get done, but
yeah.
Also it didn't come with any uprights as such. It's like hooks that you need to screw into the wall and.
Because I told you there were two models. One came with posts and one without.
There was nothing. You said to me, Ark and Zoo, and there was nothing on their website anywhere. Nothing.
How many other pet shops are there other than Ark and Zoo?
I don't know.
But you're a pet owner. I'm not.
I've never been to a pet shop. Why would I go to a pet shop? You don't buy pets
little
there.
Toys for Ronnie and Reggie.
Toys? They've got each other.
What, are you serious? They don't have any toys in the house?
Yeah, they've got toys, but they don't really do toys. They don't. It's not something they play with on a regular basis. So they've got this thing with two balls in it that they chase around, and it makes a noise, quite a noise. And they use it maybe 2-3 times a week for a couple of minutes. But mostly they like to push things off my desk, so...
Yes, and push
them.
Buttons when they're not supposed to.
Oh, you should see it when I'm flying spaceships.
Oh, of course, that must be. Oh, you're right. Even more annoying when you're in the middle of a mission, an important mission to save mankind, and suddenly.
I was in the middle of an important mission to get a free spaceship,
Yeah, you told me that last week.
and he made me commit suicide.
Bloody hell.
Little fuck.
Yeah, yeah. Well, I think that's the only exciting thing going on in the world at the moment. Cat activity.
Oh, is there nothing in the news to excite you this week?
Not really. No, it was as expected, a complete anticlimax. The Putin-Trump meet. I think that happened after we last spoke.
I mean, it's such a load of nonsense. First of all, why is Trump supposedly in charge of stopping the war?
Well, you know why.
Yeah, but I know he wants to own the mineral rights to fucking...
No. Nothing to do with that. It's a pure vanity trip. The only reason he's involved in any of this is because Obama got the Nobel Peace Prize.
Yeah.
And he wants it.
Yeah. They should make a special one for him.
Yeah.
For sure. The Nobel fucking Muppet Prize.
Who would show up to the ceremony if Trump was given the Nobel Peace Prize?
Well, to be honest, who showed up for Obama? He did fuck all.
No, you're right. He may not have justified it, but he certainly got a lot of popular support. No one would show up for the Trump. He's deployed... I can't remember when that happened. Maybe it was last week. Maybe we've already touched on it. The National Guard into Washington, D.C.
Yeah, you said, and Chicago.
And he's bulldozed the homeless encampment on his way to the golf course.
However, I have to tell you that I have quite a few American players in Star Citizen.
And they are avid Trump supporters.
Surprisingly, a lot of them. Some of them I understand because I hope none of them listen to this. But, you know, the archetypal Deep South trailer park type accent?
Yes.
One of them, every time he talks, all I can see is a skank from Breaking Bad. I mean, I don't want to say anymore, but he can't talk without me getting this mental image of a South Park fucking trailer park dweller. But there's a couple of very sensible ones, responsible middle class American people that I play with, who have said, look, you know, you shouldn't just, and they're right, you shouldn't just believe what's in the media, because what's going on in America, yeah, sure, there's some stupid stuff and some bad stuff, but a lot of good is happening as well. And they were trying to explain about the ICE raids and the people being dragged off the street. It's not just illegal immigrants. It's also, or specifically, criminals who haven't been brought to justice through the normal justice system. The cases have been allowed to go cold by the police, and they are rounding up those people. But they don't report that so much because that's not as sexy as just innocent people minding their own business being deported.
So what does ICE stand for?
The Immigration Control Executive, I don't know.
Immigration Customs.
Immigration, Customs and Excise.
What have they got to do with rounding up criminals?
All right, maybe it's not ICE, maybe it's whoever it is. I just said ICE because that's what everyone says in the fucking TV shows. It's an ICE raid, man.
No, but it's interesting because, you know, there are all sorts of arguments that surface against these things. But when you actually start asking questions, I'm not having a go at you because you're not American, but when you actually start asking questions, it all falls apart.
Well, I'm not going to start an argument with the people I play with.
No, of course not. No,
Because
I'm not
because
suggesting you
technically
do.
they know better than I do because they're living it. They see more than I do. Because all I
Well,
see
no, I
is
mean,
what's reported in the media. And you know
no,
as
of
well as
course.
I do that the media are the biggest fucking liars on the planet. They have
Yeah, but there are
created more
certain things.
stories.
Yeah, but there are certain things that uh, are you not to believe what Trump actually posts himself on his own media
Yes,
channels?
but no one's saying he's an intellectual giant. But also,
what,
no,
what do you mean
nobody is.
intellectual giant?
Well, no one's saying
What's
that.
the opposite of a giant?
No one is saying that he's an intellectual giant. But what they are saying is that not everything that's reported about what's happening in America is actually fact.
No. But it's not a matter of them agreeing he's not an intellectual giant, as you put
Well,
it. It's a matter of, do you trust his judgment or not? And clearly not, because he's incoherent.
yeah, but
That is indefensible.
he's not actually in charge either, is he?
Well, no, but that's fair enough. Then, if they want people like Stephen Miller and the rest of them to actually be in charge of
Look,
America,
there's no
I mean,
point in
I'm not.
arguing with me about it. I'm just telling you what the
No.
point of view is from my American friends.
No. Well, of course. I mean, there are 78 million people who voted for Trump. So, of course, there's a whole wealth, there's a depth of cross section in terms of the people who support Trump. But sometimes you actually have to be outside to get a clearer view
Well, perhaps you
of
should
what's
come
going on.
into my game and take this up with them personally, and I can record it for me and our
Yeah,
listeners to have a
exactly.
giggle at later.
Exactly. Mark gets annihilated by true Americans.
See Mark getting shafted live in Star Citizen.
Yes, because they have to be. Anybody you game with has to at least have the capacity to operate a computer.
And I mean, there is clearly responsible and grown-up adults, because this is not a kid. As I told you, this is not a kid's game. There's no children in this game.
So you're safe from being arrested for kiddie grooming.
Yeah. But it does mean I'm allowed to use my full adult humour, which is brilliant.
So is that, what was that thing you uploaded for me that you communicate with people? Dystopia? What's that communication platform that you...
Discord.
Discord. Do you still use that?
Yes, that's how we talk.
Because wasn't there a security breach of Discord and everybody's information was disclosed or something?
No.
Really?
Or if there was, there's not a lot of information on there. I mean,
other than your...
Who do you think doesn't already know your name and address? Everybody in the world has your name and address. And in Sweden, they know how much tax you paid last year.
Oh, no, they have to pay for that. 6 krona 75 or whatever it is. 10 krona, a quid.
Oh, talking of krona, I got a fucking message from Skatteverket today.
That you've got to pay tax?
No, I'm getting another utbetalning for about 6,000 crowns related to work. I don't know.
Yeehaw! Fantastic.
Yeah, I know, it's a nice little bonus, but
take it and run.
Well, I'm going to take it, but I won't be running because they know where I live, because they have YouTube.
No, that's true. Because they have YouTube. They could identify where you live from the picture of the inside of your flat.
More or less.
I wonder if they've got access to everybody's webcams so that they can check where you're at and what you're up to.
Well, they've got access to your microphone, so I would say they've definitely got access to your webcam.
Do they? Why do they have access to my microphone?
Every time you talk about something, it appears on your feed as an advert. You know that they've got access to
Oh,
your
yeah,
microphone.
sorry, microphone on the phone. You're right. Yeah.
Why do you think that's different to your laptop?
Oh, I don't know. Is it?
Nope. They're watching
really?
and listening. Do you remember
dear.
smart TVs used to have cameras so that people could make video calls from their TVs and things? They've stopped doing it now because people
Because
refuse
it
to
got
buy
hacked
them.
into.
Well, people refuse to buy them because the manufacturers were watching the audience. They were literally watching people watching TV.
Oh dear.
It's just, come on.
Picking the old nose and
I
things,
sit
and
here
probably far
naked.
worse.
I sit here naked, pulling my pud and scratching me nuts.
Hopefully not on that leather sofa. Do you put a blanket down before you do it?
Oh no, I don't lie naked on the sofa. That's no fun.
You'd be slippy sliding all over the place.
Oh, well, I mean...
So there's that going on. I don't think there's too much else. My memory is so bad these days. I don't know what happened yesterday. So I can't think of anything else going on in the world. Oh, other than, of course, the... oh, no, we've already talked about it. The non-event that was... I mean, Putin was in complete control of that meeting from start to finish.
He always is. For anyone to say, "Oh, Trump's got Putin under manners," are you insane? Putin does what he wants. Trump has got nothing to say or do about it.
All Putin wanted was a photo op shaking the hand of Trump for his domestic consumption, and he got it. Anyway. So that's that going on. What is else going on? I can't remember. It's always a blank when I'm sitting down thinking of what's been in the news, spending most of my time reading the news. Anyway. It's good to have a cup of tea when we're talking, I have to say.
I wouldn't know because I didn't have time to make one.
Bloody right. Keep me waiting an hour. Though we haven't actually recorded at 10 o'clock ever.
No.
Has there been a single occasion where we've recorded?
No, not at all. I'll tell you what has happened. Israel have invaded and taken the outskirts of Gaza City with a 60,000 troop invasion. So, well done, you peacekeeping fuckers.
Yeah.
Fucking
No,
wankers.
I mean, I was thinking about that the other day. I was thinking that when you look back in history, with the likes of the UK supplying weaponry to the Israelis, and what is obviously and what is obviously going to come to light when journalists are actually allowed into Palestine, that obviously it's not on the scale of the Holocaust, but it's
definitely a genocide.
It's definitely heading in that direction. And, not only were we not standing against it,
we were supporting it actively and cheering the protesters in the streets.
Yeah. Well, because I'll tell you what has been in the press quite a lot recently, and that is the what do you call it? The Palestine Action being categorized as a terrorist outfit, even though all they did was demonstrate.
Yeah.
Really, demonstrators are now terrorists, are they?
Well, we knew that was going to happen as soon as they increased the terrorist powers.
Yes, no, you're
police.
right.
Oh, yeah, we're going to call everybody a terrorist now because we can hold them for longer without any questions.
Yeah. No, that's right. And even thinking about things like that, you can get done for. So, yes, I mean, that's, it's going to be a real, what are we, 24, 25? When did the war start? When did Hamas invade or take hostages?
Oh, 3 years ago?
2 years ago, was it? It's a long time ago. I think what's happened is it's going to be remembered for a very, very long time. I don't see how Israel is ever going to recover. I suppose they will do, but...
I mean, seriously, Netanyahu should be held for terrorism charges.
Yes, I don't think he's actually been done for war crimes, has he? I can't remember.
Why would he? He's from Israel. They can do no wrong.
I'm not too sure whether there's something pending or not, because he still seems to travel, doesn't he, Netanyahu?
Why wouldn't he?
Though, of course, America haven't signed up to the International War Crimes Convention, because that's how Putin was able to go to Alaska.
And if they did sign up for it, it would have been repealed by Trump anyway.
Yeah. Executive order.
Executive order number 178,000C. It's probably the greatest executive order ever written.
Exactly. No, but, people right from the start, they were predicting that this is what Israelis' objective were. They have the means to do it, and they're literally doing it. They are literally cleansing Palestine of Palestinians.
Yeah, I mean, they've basically said that they're going to have a 3-phase attack to take it back by October or something.
Yeah, well, that's what the 60,000 was actually new recruits. They are, what do you call it when you write to people saying you're joining the army?
Conscripts.
Conscripts, thank you. They're conscripting 60,000 extra forces to deal with taking on Gaza. I'm amazed that there's that many people in Israel who are willing to actually partake in what's going on.
I would imagine that there's a fairly severe punishment for draft dodging.
You might be right,
they are technically a terrorist nation. So,
yeah. In fact, funnily enough, I was actually reading an article about an Israeli who refused to go into the army because he thought it was outrageous what they were doing, and he was put in prison.
Yeah,
he was imprisoned. But yeah, I mean, there must be a sufficient proportion of Israelis who think what's going on is absolutely terrible. I mean, certainly there's a decent proportion of Jewish people who think it's outrageous.
I mean, how can you on the one hand, condemn Putin, and on the other hand, support Netanyahu?
Yeah, well, you can't. They're
doing exactly the same thing. They're doing exactly the same thing, but one of them is one of our best customers for weapons.
Yeah. Yeah.
Fucking hypocritical world we live in.
So that, that just keeps on going. But, Greta has been busy, of course. Greta Thunberg.
Oh, I know she hasn't been to school, so what's she been up to?
What do you mean? I suspect that Greta Thunberg must be early mid-20s now.
Yes, but she's been living on the fucking streets as a protester since she was 12.
Fridays, only Fridays.
Oh, fuck off. Do you really believe she actually went to school?
No, that was her. No, well, I'm sure she went to school. That was her demonstration day, Fridays, when she used to sit outside Parliament in Sweden.
Get an after-school job in McDonald's like every other Swedish teenager.
I think she was having a go at the Norwegians the other day, actually. I think that was her latest thing.
What have they done apart from be Norwegian?
Well, of course, their biggest revenue earner is oil.
And?
Well,
does she think she's going to get cars banned? Why doesn't she just get a fucking job? Oh, no one would employ the whiny little cunt. That's why. Could you imagine her in the fika room? Oh, you're eating something which is made with processed oils. I'm going to protest outside your house after work. You cunt.
I'll tell you what, you've got to be careful, Andy, because we do have some Swedes in the audience, and criticising Greta is like...
Oh, look, the Swedes also invented dynamite. Let's not forget that. They've got a lot to answer for. Fucking celebrating Alfred Nobel, who's probably guilty of killing more humans than the plague, leprosy, AIDS, and mad cow disease all rolled into one. No one's perfect here.
No. I mean, it's unfortunate for poor old Greta because she still looks like a 12-year-old. To be taken seriously as it. I mean,
and also she's got that face you just want to slap. She's got a face like a smacked ass.
No one else. wants to do that, Andy. It's
Have you ever
only
seen her smile? No. Have you ever seen her cringe and groan? Yes. Every fucking photo is like. She's such a whiny little fuck. Oh my
She's
God.
a bit of a heroine, Andy.
Heroin addicts, maybe.
What were you doing when you were 15 and 16? You were just focusing on Mayfair magazines.
I was trying to shag
sneak
me
a
mate's
bit.
sisters.
Exactly.
I wasn't worried about oil, except maybe I was a bit more worried about baby oil, seeing where I could get that in every crevice that I came across.
Oh dear. So no, Greta's been in the news. Yep. So have you got any subject matter today?
Yeah,
or have
actually,
I caught you too early.
No, we're going to talk about, the first story we're going to talk about is in Romania.
Have you been practicing segueing into the next story? So that
Don't
there's
worry
at
about
least
it.
some
You're not even going to
connection?
know. As usual, you won't even notice when I've changed the subject, and you'll go, "Hang on a minute." Back in 1991,
In where? Afghanistan, Romania.
Romania, not quite
Yeah.
Afghanistan.
Yeah.
A chap called Vasili Gorgos, or Yorgos, was a 63-year-old, and keep this in your head, his age, 63.
Yeah.
He was a
I've got that.
63-year-old cattle
63.
farmer and trader from a very small village near Bacău in Romania. He spent most of his days at home, but he would make brief business excursions to various cities to conduct his livestock business.
Selling cows.
Yeah. Dealing cattle. I wonder how he made out in the mad cow disease scam.
Why are you saying that was a scam?
It was a scam. They killed millions and millions of cows, banned us from eating T-bone steak, and not one human being ever suffered from anything to do with bovine, whatever it was.
Spongiform encephalitis.
Yeah, it never happened. It was a lie. It was a lie. It was. Not one human being. We were all supposed to die from that.
That's not true for a start. And secondly, if
Well, it is true.
we did
Not
stop,
one human being. Not
But what do
one. The whole idea was to stop us suffering from mad cow disease.
You're just talking nonsense
No, I'm
again.
not.
People did die
No.
of bovine.
No. Please Google it. Please Google it.
I will do it. I will say, yep, go for it.
Anyway, we digress.
Already.
One day,
You started it.
Yorgos set out for what should have been a fairly routine trip. He'd even purchased his train ticket in advance. Apparently a new device has been found on my computer. As usual, he told his family he would return in a day or two, and he boarded his train. But he never, ever came back home.
What?
Yeah. The day he was expected to return came and went without any sign of him. Naturally, his family grew a bit concerned, and when he failed to come home the next day, their worry escalated and they contacted the local constabulary. Hello.
Right. Shall I just correct you while we're here? You asked me to Google it.
Go on.
So your number was
0.
not 1.
And it was 1.
178 in the UK alone.
Nonsense. They may have died after being hit by a bus and carrying the bovine emphysephalitis, but it's just bollocks. Anyway, the day he was expected to return, as I say, came and went. They informed the police, and what began as concern quickly turned into sort of panic as the day stretched into weeks without any sign of the missing farmer.
It's a bit like Jack and the Beanstalk when he went off to market.
But he at least came back with some magic beans.
You're right. What did this fellow come back with?
Well, despite extensive searches conducted by local authorities and volunteers, no clues emerged about poor old Yorgos's whereabouts. The investigation yielded no evidence of foul play. leaving the community and Yorgos's family with nothing but unanswered questions and mounting despair. And remember, in 1991, there wasn't really much in the way of CCTV in cities, let alone out in the sticks of Romania.
Are we talking alien abduction?
Did I say that?
I know, but I think you might be building up to it.
Months went by and eventually turned into years.
Oh dear.
The case grew cold. He just fell off my chair.
How can you be laughing?
Because I heard him hit the floor.
Did he land on his paws?
Of course, they always do. Yeah, months turned into years, the case grew cold, and any hopes of finding him basically faded. Now, fast forward 30 years.
21.
And how old is he?
93.
The Gorgos family had lived with the uncertainty of not knowing whatever had happened, and understandably, most of them believed he was dead. Certainly by now. Every year they held a little memorial service to pay their respects, but the lack of information just made them feel like they would never ever get any real answers. Meanwhile, Romania had changed dramatically. The country had transitioned from being a communist country into a democracy, joined NATO and the European Union, and modernised significantly, and sent us a whole new breed of beggar for our streets in London. Thank you very much, Romania.
Why do you say that?
Oh, the shoplifting gangs, don't you remember? They were a nightmare.
They were Romanian. I thought they were Albanian.
No, the shoplifting gangs were Romanian.
Uh-huh.
Do you remember the Romanian gypsies with the big skirts? They used to go shoplifting the TVs. They could literally carry a TV out of a shop under their skirt.
Well, it's funny you say that, because what I never understood was, why do they wear traditional folk costumes to go on the underground?
I have just told you. It's their shoplifting outfit. Anyway, new technology like the internet, mobile phones and social media has since transformed daily life, and the world that Vasili Gorgos had known quickly became something that would have been completely unfamiliar to the humble farmer. And then, on August 29th of 2021, the impossible happened.
Well, it wasn't impossible, because it did happen. He resurfaced. He suddenly walked through the front door.
A car suddenly pulled up outside the family home, and the now 93-year-old man stepped out, looking confused.
Not surprised.
And before anyone could get the car's registration number or talk to the driver, it sped off. Vasili George, meanwhile, I'll call him Vasili George because it's easier on the throat, was wearing the same clothes that he'd been wearing the day he disappeared. Even more strangely, he still had the train ticket that he'd purchased for his trip back in 1991. But despite 30 years passing, both his clothes and his train ticket were in good condition. When he was reintroduced to his children, Yorgos admittedly could not recognise them, and his children at first couldn't recognise him either, but 30 years is 30 years. We don't understand him. He doesn't know what he's saying, Yorgos' son told local media. He talks to us about the period when he was involved in raising and selling cows. We ask him one thing and he tells us another. Gorgos underwent quite a comprehensive medical examination, which found that he was in remarkably good health for his age, other than his significant memory issues. The medical assessment revealed a man who, despite being in his 90s, showed no major signs of physical deterioration or health problems other than what would be usually expected. The odder thing, however, was his complete inability to remember anything that had happened during the 30 years that he was missing. Gorgos could remember his family, his house, and his life on the farm. He was also reportedly able to recall that he was born in 1928, that his wife had died, and that he was the son of quite a famous merchant. The basic facts of his life before his 1991 business trip remained fairly intact in his mind. But between the trip and Gorgos's return in September 2021, there was nothing. Who knows where he'd been, who kept him? Maybe he was forced to work, his son speculated. Who knows what kind of life he led? Given how bizarre his return was, it's natural that people who heard the story would speculate and theorise about exactly what had happened. Some of the more grounded explanations, as much as there can be, suggested that there may be a medical cause to Gorgos's memory loss, such as early onset dementia. It's not really early onset at 93, though, I would have said.
No, but it started at 63. But no, he knocked his head. He fell over and knocked his head. Didn't get up in the morning.
Or a severe dissociative disorder. It is possible that this could have caused Gorgos to lose his identity and wander for decades, potentially being cared for by an unknown party. But who would care for a 63-year-old man wandering the streets? I mean, who?
And that still doesn't explain this clothing aspect. Who would keep their clothes for 30 years?
Yeah, I mean, apart from me, because I can't afford any new ones. I actually do have clothes that are older than my daughter.
Oh, so I've got loads. I've got a wardrobe full of them.
There are, of course,
when you buy quality.
Yeah,
quality,
exactly.
as compared to buying things in Camden Market.
Fuck off. I got a pair of leather strides that I bought in Camden that are still in perfect mint condition.
What are leather strides?
Leather pants.
Leather
jeans. Leather trousers.
You've got a pair of leather trousers?
Yeah, of course.
What do you mean, of course? There's not a course at all.
Rock and roll, mate. Rock and roll.
Do they have little lacing up the side?
Yes, they do have little lacing up the side. And they still fit as well. I've worn them out in I left there.
Leather trousers with laces up the sides?
Yes.
Were you looking for business at the time? You must. Oh my God!
I did get some business.
Anyway, this poor fellow didn't have any leather strides.
He didn't have any leather strides, and but there were some more wild theories as well. One of the most popular theories, online at least, is that Vasili Gorgos was abducted by the government and held in jail, possibly for secret experiments of some kind that resulted in the memory loss. Others, like you, have theorized. Oh my God, you bastard.
The cat?
Yeah.
Oh dear. What's he done? Deleted all your source material?
He's literally closed the window.
Oh no.
So I'm going to get it back.
You're going to have to wing it, Andy. Pretend you're reading from some research you plagiarized and try carrying on. You might actually have to edit this.
Yeah, I will, because it's going to take me a minute.
Oh no.
Find.
Anyway, I proved you absolutely incorrect in terms of, though in fact, you were sort of right.
I know I was right.
No, because BSE, bovine spongiform encephalitis, is obviously what cows have. That's why it's called bovine.
Yes.
The human equivalent is, do you remember that?
Madman disease.
No, it's called Creutzfeldt-Jakob disease. That is what humans catch from cattle with BSE.
All right. Well, I've got my page back. So,
All right.
yeah, others have theorized, like you, that he was abducted by aliens who experimented on him for 30 years
Yeah.
before returning him to his family with no memory of what had happened. But while they're interesting theories, there's no evidence to support any of them, in even the most plausible ones. There's very little that can explain how Vasili Gorgos returned with his clothes in good condition, his train ticket still in his pocket, and no memory of where he had been. But his family accepts it's him. He accepts it's his family. And that is basically the end of the story of Vasili Gorgos.
What?
Yeah, we don't.
What do you mean the end of the story?
That's as well. There's nothing more to tell. He went, disappeared, lost his memory, and came back 30 years later with all his gear intact.
But I mean, to do a DNA test takes 10 minutes to establish that he is who he says he is.
Oh, I'm sure that they've done that. They, as I say, everyone's accepted it's definitely him. So they must have gone through at least some kind of DNA sampling by now.
And they've never been able to track down the people that dropped him off.
No. Men in Black, you know.
It sounds.
But it's a true story. I mean, this is not a fake story. This happened. So it doesn't matter what it sounds like. It's actual facts.
Well, the alien abduction story sounds most plausible at the moment.
So, from one interesting story to another.
Hang on, you've got to take a time. You've got to do something so you can edit.
Yeah, I need to know. I'm looking around 43 minutes, and then I'll just go through that. So, have you ever heard of the term cargo cult?
Cargo cult?
Yes.
No. Why would I have?
Well, you should have, actually.
Because
there are quite a few cargo cults, and most of them have their roots in World War II.
I wasn't around,
and this
in spite of what you may think.
You were definitely there. Probably working for the Nazis. That's where your family wealth comes from the gold you looted and the paintings.
What family wealth are you referring to?
From your pile in Bavaria.
God dear.
Yeah, and these cults have their roots where islanders, specifically in the South Pacific, I would imagine, witnessed American troops bringing surpluses of Western goods or cargo over their islands, and they were amazed by the technologically advanced ships and planes used to deliver the products, and some of these islanders even interpreted these events as magical. So when the war ended...
It must have been pretty remote islands.
Yes, but bear in mind that there's a lot of South Pacific islands, and a lot of them back in the 40s would well have been undiscovered and left alone with their indigenous...
I think you're referring to Micronesia.
Yes, I'm referring specifically to Micronesia and Melanesia.
And Melanesia.
When the war ended and the cargo stopped coming, some of these natives began praying fervently for the goods to return. Mm-hmm. Where's my iPhone? Where's my iPhone?
Why were they speaking with that strange accent?
We need Levi. Where's my Levi?
They don't all speak like Thailand.
Members of cargo cults became convinced that there was a supernatural source behind all this that would one day return to Melanesia with riches just like the products that the US soldiers brought with them in the 1940s. But surprisingly, some cargo cults had emerged even before World War II. As the colonizers, that's me and you, spread across the South Pacific and suppressed native traditions, stories emerged about a savior who would reward indigenous people for resisting colonialism. And for those that already believed in this Messiah, The delivery of cargo during the war seemed to confirm this legend. So after the conflict, these cults spread even further across Melanesia, from Papua New Guinea to Vanuatu and even to Fiji. And through the popularity of cargo cults, although it's significantly declined in recent years, some believers still remain to this day.
So hang on a second. So they must have seen it was American troops who were delivering this stuff to them.
They wouldn't know. It wasn't being delivered necessarily to them directly. It was being delivered to the ground forces, etc. But they saw the results of these magical beasts that dropped magical gifts from the sky.
I suppose if you lived in a sufficiently isolated environment,
yes,
and you saw, but you'd still see planes.
You saw metal eagles, thunderbirds.
Maybe.
So although they'd intensified during World War II, as I say, they emerged much earlier. In Fiji, the Tuka movement began near the end of the 19th century. In New Guinea, the Taro cult started around 1919. As ZME Science noted in 2023, these Melanesian cults were a direct response to increasing colonialism in the South Pacific region. They often included some combination of all these elements: anti-colonialist sentiment, belief in the imminent transformation of society, and worship of Western material goods. One of the best documented cargo cults, however, emerged in New Hebrides.
Scotland?
New Hebrides, not the Hebrides.
Not Scotland.
It's now known as Vanuatu.
Yeah, Vanuatu, I can see it on my map.
And that was in the 1930s.
Just next to Fiji.
Yes. Then local law states that elders were visited by a white man named John Frum after they drank copious amounts of the intoxicating drink kava. And that's kava with a K, not kava with a C, which is neither intoxicating or even a drink.
I'm sure if you drank enough of kava, it would be intoxicating.
No one can drink 54 litres of some nasty fizzy water that they try to pass off.
Don't be ridiculous. I have bottles of kava, or a bottle of kava in the fridge. It's 14%.
I rest my case. It's rubbish, isn't it?
No, some of it's jolly good.
Frum urged them to throw off the shackles of colonialism and return to their native traditions. There's little evidence that this figure actually existed, and it's possible that the name Frum came from the local pronunciation of the word broom, as in to sweep, or broom white colonisers off the islands. But nevertheless, his anti-colonialism message stuck and struck a chord with the natives. He said we should throw away their money and clothes, take our children out of their schools, stop going to church, and go back to living as Kastom people. Chief Kahuia, a tribal leader in Vanuatu, explained to Paul Raphael of the Smithsonian magazine in 2006. We should drink kava, worship the magic stones, and perform our ritual dances. I make him right. I absolutely agree. Fuck money, fuck your schools, fuck your iPhones. We're going to dance around these stones naked and get drunk as fuck.
Interestingly, it's not on the way to anywhere, so they probably could get away with it.
Yeah, because they would not be under a passenger route of any aircraft.
No, exactly, or cruise ships or something.
Oral histories on Vanuatu's Tanna Island stated that if indigenous people returned to their old ways, John Frum would reward them, and then, with the beginning of World War II, that prophecy appeared to come true. After the Japanese attack on Pearl Harbor, Millions of American troops poured into the Pacific, while keeping a close eye on the islands to curb the ongoing Japanese expansion. They also bought goods like chocolate, Coca-Cola, and cigarettes. They arrived in technologically advanced airplanes, drove vehicles that appeared to be powered by magic, and seemed to be able to conjure foodstuffs without planting crops or trading. Cooperative indigenous people in the South Pacific were often rewarded for their services as guides or hosts with new clothes, foods, weapons, or other gifts, which US troops appeared to be able to produce from thin air. For some islanders in Vanuatu especially, this appeared to confirm the legend of John Frum, and they sort of gave him a bit of an American character. John Frum had promised that Americans would bring good things to the people of Tanna and would be their brothers in the fight for freedom. Documentarian Jessica Sherry, she might have had a sherry, who visited Tanna Island and made the documentary Waiting for John, explained to HistoryNet in 2016. The American military brought a miraculous amount of cargo to many remote islands in the South Pacific: refrigerators, canned foods, planes, trucks, all technologically advanced goods that the islanders had never seen, especially in such vast quantities. The arrival of the Americans fulfilled John's prophecy and changed the balance of power in the area, undermining European authority and empowering the native peoples who believed that they were now the chosen. And another explanation for John Frum's name is it emerged during an encounter with a US soldier who called himself John from America.
Original?
John Frum. See?
Ah.
But just as suddenly as the American forces had arrived, they vanished, of course, with the end of the war. And so did our seemingly miraculous manufactured goods. And in their absence, the cargo cults prayed that they would someday return. After Americans and their cargo vanished from Melanesia, indigenous people set about trying to bring them back. And to do so, some cargo cult followers began to mimic the behaviour of the US troops. They would build mock air control towers out of bamboo, fake radio devices out of mud and straw, and full replica airplanes out of wood. They sometimes even carved airstrips out of the jungle, dressed like American troops, and used flags and other symbols to attract planes in the sky.
And did they succeed, I wonder?
In some places, the arrival of white travellers also prompted the sacrifice of pigs, in the belief that metal great pigs would suddenly appear in the heavens overhead. But the planes and their abundant cargo never came.
But, I mean, it is interesting how, sorry, that was over a period of like a few decades.
Well, even up to today. In most places, there's been a dwindling of cargo cult followers, especially since Melanesia has become increasingly industrialized in recent years, and islanders have had more regular contact with Westerners. But there's still a small number of remaining cargo cult followers who are convinced that they're simply not performing the correct ceremonies to bring the planes and ships back. It eventuated that the expected cargo consisted of tinned meat, bags of rice, steel tools, cotton cloth, tin tobacco, and a machine for making electric light. Peter Lawrence wrote in his 1964 book, Road Belong Cargo. It would come from God in heaven. The people had waited for it for years, but they didn't know the correct procedures for getting it.
I mean, when you think about it, if you lived in a relatively isolated environment where you don't have contact with outside people, how you could so easily misinterpret things like the American troops arriving on your island and, as you say, all of the stuff they'd never seen before.
Well, we do exactly the same with extraterrestrials. We assume that they're aliens from another planet. They might be our gods. They might be our makers.
Yeah, that's doubtful.
Why?
But I was going to say that it's not surprising that religion developed in the way it did.
Yeah.
Because all it was maybe being exposed to different
It's just ideology,
levels. I mean, can you imagine with just using the Romans as an example, with all their sophisticated technology that they had in those days, and they suddenly arrive on the coast of Cumbria or somewhere in the UK, who were literally living in mud huts.
Yes, and dressed in woad.
I mean, you can sort of understand that they misinterpret all of that as sort of godlike. It's, what's it called? Cargo cults.
Cargo cults. Even on Vanuatu's Tanna Island, belief in the cargo cults has dropped dramatically. The John Frum movement had about 5,000 followers in 1990, but only 500 in 2022, partly due to the growth of Christianity in the area. Do not go down that road.
Oh, no.
Cargo cult is better than Christianity. At least you're worshipping something tangible.
Even if it is American, you mean?
Well, Coca-Cola, whatever. But many people on Tanna Island still celebrate John Frum Day every year on February the 15th. Young men paint USA in red on their chests. They hoist sticks made of bamboo as rifles, and they march in a military-like style. I think they're taking the piss, though.
I think they probably are these days. I wonder if Vanuatu, they must have TV and stuff there these days.
Probably. While some
They've
locals...
probably got their own TV station.
While some locals participate for the sake of tradition, there are others who do so in the genuine hope that cargoes rich with American goods will return someday. So far they haven't, but as one local chief told Smithsonian writer Paul Raphael, "You Christians have been waiting 2,000 years for Jesus to return, and you haven't given up hope. We've only been waiting 80 years, mate."
Good point. Very good point, actually.
Yeah. And thus, the remaining cargo cults continue to hold out hope across Melanesia to this day. And I think I am now a Melanesian. I'm no longer an atheist. I'm a cargo cultist.
Yeah, exactly. You're waiting for some goodies to arrive, some genes.
I want
something.
miracle goods from the sky. I'll go down that road quite happily. Anyway, that brings us to the end of the cargo cults. Very interesting story.
Well, I was just, I go down these strange old tangents. Guess how many TV stations there are in Vanuatu?
1.
2.
Well, they're not that far behind the UK. There was only 3 when I was growing up.
Yeah. I mean, 2 TV channels, for God's sake.
Yeah, but, they probably can't afford Starlink to download the rest of them.
Yeah, your satellite dish would have to be pretty big to start picking up Sky News.
Well, no, you could literally connect to Starlink.
But funnily enough, it's not far from Australia. I say far. It's the same distance as New Zealand, which is quite
3,000 miles, I think.
It's not. No, it's not. It's probably 1,500 miles.
Oh, it's a short swim then.
You could swim it.
No, I couldn't. My days of swimming 1,500 miles are behind me. Maybe 1,000 is my limit now.
I wonder how fast people swim.
Not very. Not for any length of time, at least. I think, isn't the butterfly supposed to be the fastest mode of swimming?
You don't do
200
endurance.
meters and you're fucked.
Exactly. No, I think the only thing you can swim long distances is the front crawl or breaststroke. Front crawl, I think.
Or my particular favourite style, the drowned man.
Is that how you swim?
Yeah,
You
just
swim as a
float
drowned
face
man.
down until someone drags you to where you want to be.
Well, you must have been a good swimmer if you were in the Navy Cadets.
I was a good swimmer. I used to enjoy swimming.
Did you go to swimming club?
I did.
Did you?
Yeah, I did. Twice a week. The Dolphins, we were called.
Did you ever compete?
Nah, I wasn't that good. My mate Mickey did. He was a butterfly champion for local schools.
Could you do the butterfly?
No, I didn't want to do it. So I used to swim for fun and relaxation. All this fucking nonsense about shaking your whole body like a fucking man having an epileptic fit with marrow stuck up his arse. What's all that about?
Did you go to a mixed school? I can't remember.
No. All boys.
You went to a boys' school?
Yeah, fucking torturous.
Catholic boys' school?
Torturous it was. Had to take turns being the girl. 1 week you were a boy, 1 week you were a girl. Nobody wanted to be the bottom.
How long?
Except for a couple of boys. Yeah, till I was 16. I mean, my primary school was mixed, of course.
Well, mine wasn't.
Was it not?
Yes, mine was actually. Yeah, my primary school was mixed as well. St. Philomena's.
Yeah. But I mean, to be honest, when you're 11 and you start your secondary education, you don't really think about girls' schools and boys' schools. It wasn't a thing. The only reason I went to an all-boys school was because my older brother went first. He basically, where he went, we followed.
I assume it was a Catholic school.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. No, but I mean, there's no doubting mixed education is better for you from a social perspective.
I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't know. I don't think any education is better for social perspectives today because from what you read and hear, everyone in school is bullying everybody else.
Yeah, I don't know
It's
whether
a fucking
I think
hostile environment.
No, but I think there's a lot of bullying in all boys' schools. You were always taking the piss out of me. Not that I went to a public school. What did they call it? Bragging? Not
fagging.
Fagging, exactly.
Fag.
Exactly. Polish my shoes, boy.
Fag. Bend over and touch your toes and don't tell anyone about what's going to happen. Except Mr. Mahoney, the carpenter treater, because he actually enjoys it too.
No, what on earth got us onto the subject of schools?
I don't know.
Nor do I. We were talking about Melanesia.
Yes, Melanesia. Ago. Anyway, yeah, that's the end of this podcast.
I'd never heard of that. That is something I've actually never heard of.
Well, I mean, you can understand when you get a modern day tale like the cargo cults, you can understand how Christianity so easily found acceptance in its roots 2,000 years ago.
Well, that's exactly what I was putting. That's what I was trying to say. You just put it a little bit more succinctly. Mildly so.
And you've actually uttered your first 3-syllable word in this entire podcast. Succinctly. I'm
sure you have to check. Can you do a search for syllables of words?
Well done, Mark. Here's a
lollipop. Use 3 syllables. Syllables, there you go. That's another 3-syllable word.
Why is dyslexia so fucking hard to spell?
A good point, actually.
What genius came up with that? Oh, you have trouble spelling. We'll call that...
Sod.
We'll call that dyslexia. Spell it for me. Sadistic fuckers. Dear. Anyway.
You're not dyslexic, are you?
No, I'm not. I was... Interestingly, I was having a discussion with a friend of mine about age gap relationships because, you know, I do have an eye for the younger ladies. And I said, I don't understand.
Not in an Epstein manner.
No, not in an Epstein manner. But I was telling him, I was out for dinner when I was like 40 and the girl I was dating was about 20. And we were out in a restaurant, and there were a few people making comments, and there was a couple of paedophile references and child molester. And like, she wasn't too perturbed by it, but it completely ruined our 10th anniversary dinner for me.
You idiot. I was just going to ask if you took her handcuffs off to allow her to use a knife and fork. Oh dear, Andy,
that is a good one.
Pretty low.
But it's good. It's unexpected where it comes from in the end, but it works. Oh, anyway, yeah. I'd like to thank everyone for listening once again. Enjoyed talking to you. It would be nice if some more of you wanted to send us any suggestions about what you'd like to hear us talk about.
Yeah. Come on, Luke.
Or whether you'd like us to just fuck off. I mean, whatever. There is an off button for your interwebs. Yeah. Anyway, failing that, we'll see you same time, same place next week. Have yourselves a great one. And the sun is shining. It's a beautiful day. I might even open my curtains and do some window wanking. Bye for now.
Excellent. Very good. Cheerio for now.